What started as a red carpet moment turned into a global headline. Pamela Anderson, the iconic bombshell, kissed Liam Neeson, yes, the action legend, at the premiere of Naked Gun, and the world hasn't stopped talking.
Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, they're here.
What?
Last night I watched the Naked. Did they just kiss?
There's some real chemistry there.
I guess if you can have chemistry there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we were so close.
Yeah, so close.
She's great in the movie.
Yeah.
She's terrific.
Fans gasped. Paparazzi zoomed in. Social media exploded. Was it just a friendly peck, or the beginning of a silver screen love story bleeding into real life? But beneath this glamorous moment lies a story so raw, so powerful, that the kiss is only the tip of the iceberg. Because what Pamela Anderson is going through now is not just about romance, it's about healing from a past that tried to break her. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, red carpet sparks, or just promotion? At the Naked Gun premiere, Pamela Anderson turned heads in a royal purple corset gown, radiating old-school glamour. Right next to her was Liam Neeson, calm and composed in a sleek gray suit. But the moment that set the internet on fire, Pamela leaned in and kissed him, right on the cheek. It wasn't just a friendly gesture. The chemistry was undeniable. Fans immediately started asking, is this real or just movie promotion? For months, rumors have swirled. Playful interviews, flirty remarks, and now this red carpet affection. Liam openly praised Pamela in interviews, calling her terrific and wonderful to work with. Pamela returned the sentiment, calling Liam a gentleman and saying their bond was very sincere.
But that's kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah, it was. That was the first 2-3 days of shooting.
Some believe it's all PR, but their body language, their comfort, and their consistent admiration for each other suggest something deeper. Even Pamela said, "I think I have a friend forever in Liam." That alone hints at a connection beyond the script. The bond that brought Liam back to life. Liam Neeson has lived through deep sorrow. After the tragic passing of his wife Natasha Richardson in 2009, he stayed out of the dating spotlight and focused on raising his sons. His personal life stayed quiet until now. While filming Naked Gun, something changed. Cast and crew noticed Liam laughing more, spending time off set with Pamela, and opening up in ways he hadn't in years.
Just enough to ask, are Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson actually dating?
It was really so much fun to go to work every day.
Their bond grew naturally. No forced smiles, no media games. Pamela confessed she was nervous to meet him, but called Liam supportive and so kind. He, in turn, called her a light, something rare in his world since his loss. Their connection feels less like a fling and more like a quiet rediscovery of joy. For Liam, Pamela may be the first person in years to reach that part of him. And for Pamela, who's been healing in her own way, maybe this was exactly the kind of warmth she needed too. Pamela's early years, a childhood full of silent battles. Before she became a household name, Pamela Anderson was just a young girl growing up in a small town in British Columbia. Her home life wasn't easy. Her parents often struggled, her father dealt with personal challenges, and her mother worked long hours to support the family. But the most difficult parts of her early life weren't visible to the outside world. Pamela faced deeply troubling experiences during childhood that left lasting emotional wounds. She remained quiet, not because she wasn't hurting, but because she didn't want to add to her family's stress. At just 12 years old, she experienced situations that no child should ever face. And as she got older, she faced more of the same, often feeling isolated, confused, and unsure of where to turn. These early experiences made it difficult for her to trust people, and for a long time, she carried those feelings silently. Even through all of that, Pamela held on to a quiet strength. She dreamed of a different life, one where she could speak up, feel safe, and live on her own terms. Finding her power, how Pamela rose above her past. Instead of being defined by the pain of her early life, Pamela chose to build something new.
But I always feel like I have to get better at just my confidence in getting into a room and thinking, oh no, I can be here, But he really put me at ease.
Her first taste of public recognition came when she appeared on the big screen at a football game. The crowd responded instantly, and a popular brand soon reached out with a modeling opportunity. That single moment sparked a turning point. She began modeling and was eventually invited to pose for Playboy, an opportunity she used not for attention, but to take back control of her image. For Pamela, it wasn't about fame, it was about choice. Moving to Los Angeles opened doors. She quickly landed roles on TV shows like Home Improvement, and eventually, her career-defining role on Baywatch. To the outside world, she was the confident star, but behind the scenes, she was still working through a lifetime of challenges. Fame gave her more than recognition. It gave her a voice. And over time, she began using it not just to entertain, but to inspire. For Pamela, success wasn't about escaping her past. It was about transforming it into something powerful when love turned into fear. Pamela's relationship with Tommy Lee started with passion and whirlwind romance. They married after just a few weeks of knowing each other and seemed inseparable. They welcomed 2 sons, and for a moment, it looked like Pamela had found stability. But behind the scenes, things were far from calm. After their second child was born, a heated argument turned physical. Tommy lashed out while Pamela was holding their baby. It was a moment she couldn't ignore. She called for help. Tommy was arrested and later sentenced. Pamela filed for divorce, but emotionally, the damage had already been done. In her memoir, she described it as one of the darkest points of her life. She still loved him, but knew she had to protect her children. That night shattered everything she thought she knew about love. Years later, she admitted their relationship, though painful, had been the only time she truly felt deeply connected to someone. But love, she learned, isn't enough when safety is at risk. And from that moment on, Pamela's focus shifted from trying to fix broken love to learning how to protect herself and her sons. Searching for love, losing herself again and again. After her painful split from Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson didn't give up on love. She kept trying. But each time, her search for stability seemed to end in heartbreak. She reunited with singer Kid Rock in the early 2000s, and after a brief rekindling, they got married. Just weeks later, it all fell apart. Pamela suffered a miscarriage, and shortly after, the couple filed for divorce. Kid Rock even accused her of misleading him, adding even more pain to an already difficult chapter. Then came Rick Salomon, a professional poker player. They married in Vegas, only for the marriage to be annulled months later. Years later, they tried again, another ceremony, another shot, but it too ended in divorce. The cycle continued. In 2020, fans thought she'd finally found peace when she married her bodyguard, Dan Hayhurst. She told the media she felt safe in his arms. But by early 2022, that marriage had ended too. A source close to her revealed there was no big fallout. She had simply fallen out of love. Despite the glamorous headlines, these weren't fairy tale romances. They were chapters in Pamela's ongoing journey to find emotional safety in a world that rarely offered it. Taking back the narrative, finally her voice. For most of her life, Pamela Anderson had been defined by others, by the media, the industry, and the controversies that followed her. But in 2022, a new challenge tested her strength once again. Streaming giant Hulu released Pam and Tommy, a dramatized retelling of her marriage and the infamous tape scandal. The show aired without her involvement, bringing back memories she had worked hard to move beyond. While Tommy Lee reportedly approved the project, Pamela didn't, and this time, she stayed silent. At least at first, but silence doesn't mean surrender. In her Netflix documentary, Pamela, A Love Story, and her memoir, Love Pamela, she finally told her story in her own words. No filters, no sensationalism, just truth. She revealed that learning about the Hulu series felt like reliving the same invasion all over again. This feels like when the tape was stolen, she said, but instead of staying in the shadows, she stepped into the light. She made it clear she was no longer the person the world talked about. She was the woman speaking for herself, and this time, nobody could take that away from her. The one thing Pamela never let go of, her sons. Through all the heartbreak, public scandals, and personal battles, one thing in Pamela Anderson's life has remained unshakable: her devotion to her 2 sons, Brandon and Dylan. Pamela didn't just raise them in the spotlight, she raised them while surviving it. She once said, "My kids saved me." And it shows throughout her memoir and documentary. Her love for her boys is the constant that keeps her grounded. When she was being publicly shamed over the stolen tape, she feared most how it would affect her children. She pulled back from the industry at times, not for herself, but to shield them from the noise. Both sons have gone on to build their own careers in entertainment, but with a sense of independence and strength that mirrors their mother's resilience. They've spoken out in support of her, even calling her a warrior, and praising her decision to finally share her story on her own terms. Pamela didn't just survive her trauma. She transformed it into fuel to become the mother she never had. Her greatest legacy may not be her fame, but the two men she raised through the storm: reinvention, simplicity, and life after the spotlight. Today, Pamela Anderson is not chasing the fame she once knew. In fact, she's doing something most celebrities are afraid to do: stepping back. She's traded in red carpets for bare feet in the garden, designer gowns for oversized sweaters, scripted lines for unfiltered truth. Now living back in her childhood home on Vancouver Island, Pamela has embraced simplicity. No entourage, no paparazzi, just ocean air, her dogs, and a quiet kind of healing. She spends her time writing, painting, and gardening. She's also become increasingly involved in environmental work and animal rights causes, long-standing passions that kept her grounded even in the wildest years of her fame. When asked if she misses the limelight, she simply said, "Not at all. I'm finally free." For someone who once felt like the world owned her story, Pamela has reclaimed it entirely, and in doing so, she's shown that true reinvention doesn't come from applause, it comes from peace. Rom icon to survivor, this is Pamela Anderson's real legacy. Pamela Anderson's story isn't just about a kiss on a red carpet or the headlines that followed. It's about a woman the world thought they understood until she told the truth in her own words. She's lived through unimaginable pain, faced a media storm that never let up, and survived betrayals both public and personal. But instead of hiding, she turned it all into power. Today, she's not trying to be the center of attention. She's simply trying to be free. Her bond with Liam Neeson might be real, or it might just be friendship. But what matters more is that Pamela is finally living for herself. No scripts, no filters, just her truth, her peace, and her voice. And now it's your turn. Drop a comment below. Do you believe Pamela and Liam are more than friends? Or do you think she's finally choosing herself first? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got more powerful celebrity journeys and behind-the-scenes truths coming your way. This wasn't just a comeback. This was a complete transformation, and Pamela Anderson just showed the world how it's done.